Hello, my name is Drew and welcome to another Baldur's Gate 3 video. So in today's video, I'd like to talk about the Drunken Master itself and what I think would be sort of good suggestions or changes for this subclass to make it more on par with some other ones. Because out of all the ones that I saw or that I've tested with the patch 8, this one is the most meh. Like it's a class, right? It's gonna be good if you make it as a tavern brawler because, well, tavern brawler monks are gonna be always good because of the high damage output it gets when you when you use the strength elixirs on them. But that's about it that this class has for it. So keep in mind, this will be just my opinions or my ideas, my takes. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best thing ever, or maybe the worst thing ever, but this is just what I think that would make this class a lot better. Because the biggest problem that I have with this class right now is that there is almost no incentive to drink while you are in combat. The only reason you would drink is to restore your ki with the one of your features here. I forget what it is. It's the, what is it called? It doesn't matter anyway. Not too much of a big deal. That's the only reason you would drink. There is no other reason as a drunken master you would drink in combat. And I think the main culprit is the drunk effect itself. The same reason, because the drunk effect is so bad. So the target that is drunk has disadvantage on dexterity checks and charisma checks. That's horrible for combat, because in combat the main thing you want is saving throw bonuses, or if you want to have debuffs, you want to debuff enemies with saving throw disadvantages. So either advantage of saving throws or disadvantage of saving throws. And checks is basically outside of combat, right? It's mostly outside of combat. It's not really in combat. If this has disadvantage on dexterity and charisma saving throws and checks, well, I was thinking you could totally carry grease bottles around, throw them at enemies, and then have them slip around when you make them drunk with the hits, right? But yeah, so the main thing I would want to talk about is how to change the drunk effect. I feel like the drunk effect itself should be more of a penalty, and the Drunken Master should have more sort of minigame or more play around it. So my idea was have the drunk effect become disadvantage on dexterity checks and dexterity and charisma saving throws and checks. So go for the full package, right? And then on top of that, what I would do is when a character is drunk, they have disadvantage on attack rolls against non-drunk enemies, or they have just disadvantage on attack rolls generally. But then to sort of counteract that, because those characters will be relatively useless in combat, make it so that enemies who are sober, when they try to attack the drunk character, they gain disadvantage on attack rolls because of the unpredictable nature of the drunken character, right? He's wobbling and tipping, and he's all over the place, right? He's kind of hard to predict where he's gonna go or how he's gonna move, so you gain disadvantage on against drunk character as well. So this way, basically, when a character is drunk, they have a hard time hitting their enemies, but their enemies have a hard time hitting them as well. Now, how would that work with the Drunken Master? Well, I would say until level 6 to 8, you make him like before, where if you drink mid-combat, the drunk effect has no effect on the Drunken Master himself, right, as you can see here. But at level 6, or somewhere between level 6 and 8, I would turn the drunk debuff into a positive. So the Drunken Master would get the advantage on dexterity and charisma saving throws and checks. And on top of that, the Drunken Master would gain advantage against drunken targets. And what this does now is immediately incentivizes you to drink mid-combat. It also incentivizes you to hit enemies with the Intoxicating Strike, because you are then gonna give yourself advantage against them, while they will have disadvantage against you. And of course, your allies will have disadvantage against them, but we don't care, we're the Drunken Master, so as long as we gain advantage against our enemies, that's fine. And I think that would be a great way to incentivize the player to actually use Intoxicating Strike before you get this sobering realization. And it also doesn't just limit it to, oh yeah, I should just get the opponent drunk so I can hit him with the sobering realization. Then I want to talk about something else regarding the Intoxicating Strike. So if you get somebody drunk with the Intoxicating Strike and you hit them again and they fail the saving throw, it looks like they fall asleep, but they immediately get up. Now, I don't know if this is a bug or if it's intended. It's still useful because you can get enemies to break their concentration, or for them to break some of the other effects that require them to be sentient. Basically, that they're not knocked out. So it's useful for that, but it's a constitution saving throw, so it's kind of hard to always get it to work on everyone with only 3 hits, right? So I don't know if that's intended. It makes sense that if you, well, so make somebody really drunk that they fall asleep, but yeah, I'm wondering if that's the actually intended feature or not. Now, secondly, I want to talk about the Cheeky Tipple. So you're immune to negative effects of being drunk. Once per day when you drink alcohol, you gain half your key points. I think this should be a button like the other monks have, where you can on demand activate it. Basically, if you have alcohol in inventory and you use this, you restore your key points. And this should get upgraded at some point, maybe, I don't know, level 11, level 12, just somewhere, or maybe earlier. Probably earlier would be better. Upgrade it to where it's not once per long rest, or once per day. Make it once per short rest, so it's on par with the other monks. Because this is the only monk that doesn't have it once per short rest. Other ones do. And this is the monk that actually is the one that really needs the sentient amulet, so that you can restore your ki more than once per long rest. So there is that. So that's what I would do with it. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. There isn't really much else I would talk about, because I think just for the fact that if you change the drunk effect to where it's more of a penalty for everybody else except the Drunken Master, it would be a lot better, right? Because nobody would benefit except the Drunken Master. Of course, if you multi-class, then you could benefit as well. But that's why I would make it log behind, like, let's say level 6, 7, or 8, where you turn the disadvantage into advantage instead of just being immune to it. This way, you would have to have a significant dip into the Drunken Master in order for you to have advantage against drunk targets. Otherwise, yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit of a rant, rambling video. Please let me know of your own ideas, your own suggestions, or changes you would make to the subclass to make it better, or if you agree with me. So I'd like to hear your thoughts, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate if you leave a like and subscribe for more Baldur's Gate 3 content, and I'll see you in the next one.